Hey there everybody, good morning. My name is Ryan Nguyen. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020, and this is your EIDL loan status update. And food for thought, saying EIDL loan is kind of like saying ATM machine. Okay, anyways, before we get started, I just wanted to check in with you and just see how you are doing, because I know these are difficult times and you're probably watching this video because you need some answers, because either your business is struggling or you are struggling or affected somehow. And so I just want you to take a second to assess yourself. How are you doing? What do you need? Just make sure you're taking care of yourself during this challenging time. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you have any questions or if you need help either with navigating any of these things, or if you just need recommendations for anything. I'm happy to answer your questions. The SBA has released some numbers about the EIDL and how many loans they've processed as of May 18th, 2020. And so far they've processed over 252,000 loans. That's how many they've approved, totaling over $24.8 billion. So it looks like they're finally starting to get some traction on this, as they were really, really slow to begin with. I think it was like, as of the end of April, they only processed like 24 or 32,000 loans or something, and now they're up to 252,000. But they still have a long ways to go, because as we saw in some of my previous videos, they've processed over 3 million advances. And if you're not familiar, the EIDL program has the advance portion and the loan portion, where the advance is just a grant you don't have to pay back, and then the loan is something that you have to pay back. But they were working really hard to process all the advances first, and there was over 3 million advances. We've processed 252,000 loans, so there's still a huge gap there. The next really disappointing thing that I wanted to mention is when the EIDL program started, its intention was to have a maximum loan amount of $2 million per entity. You know, it doesn't mean that you're going to get $2 million, it's just the maximum loan amounts. But in recent weeks, they did mention that with all the demand that they're receiving, they're considering lowering that maximum amount to $150,000. And, you know, whenever you hear news, you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, because you don't know where the sources are, how legitimate the sources are. But I can now confirm, because as several of my clients, we were expecting way more than $150,000 just based on their revenue and their cost of goods sold. You know, we had some that were expecting $1 million, and some that we were expecting the full $2 million. But they were approved just this week with only $150,000. So that is something that's really disappointing. You know, I know these are still small businesses, but they're still larger and really needed that money to help get them through this tough time. They pretty much just got shortchanged. And it's just really disappointing to see that, because it tells you how unprepared the SBA was and how unprepared everybody was for this whole thing. I honestly don't think that $100 billion for this program is nearly enough, and that's how much that they've got funded for so far. Is just $50 billion the first round, $50 billion the second round, totaling $100 billion. That's not going to be nearly enough. I also think it's unfair, because there were some people that got approved for more than that early on. You know, I had clients that got approved for $250,000 and some for $500,000, and so now it's just completely unfair. Like with everything else that's going on right now, this is kind of a moving target. So I'm hoping that, you know, the $150,000 cap is a cap that is just temporary. You know, what I'm assuming the EIDL program, you know, if there's another stimulus package, it's likely that the EIDL program will get funded more, and they might change their policy around, you know. And there were talks earlier from this date that they were only going to limit the amount of funding to $25,000 initially and then fund the rest later. But it doesn't seem like that's actually happening anymore. So this could be like, I'm hoping this is like $150,000 initial funding, and then more will come later. But, you know, I can only hope. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys hope for in the comments below. The timeline that we've been seeing on this is between 6 to 8 weeks from when our clients applied for the loan to when they get funded. And at around 4 weeks, I think we've been seeing people get the EIDL advance, and then 2 to 4 weeks from there, they'll see the loan actually come through. You'll receive an email from the SBA, and then you get to basically pick your loan amount. You're approved for a maximum amount, but you get to choose between $1,000 and that maximum amount, and then you submit further paperwork, and then you're good to go. But at the moment, we're seeing 6 to 8 weeks from when people apply for the EIDL to when they actually get approved and funded. So this is a really slow moving loan. There is the SBA Express Bridge program out there that's done through various financial institutions. You have to look it up in your state to see who's participating, but that could be a good way for you to get some funding while you're waiting for this EIDL. And of course, there's the PPP, and there's all kinds of other state-funded programs out there. You just have to do some research. Reach out to me if you want. I can give you some options. I have a list of all 50 states and all the state and local funded programs for those states. So reach out to me if you were interested in any of those things. All right, that's all I got for today. Thanks for coming. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for updates, and be sure to smash or hit or whatever you want to do to that like button if you enjoyed this video and if you thought it was helpful. All right, so take care for now. I'll see you next time.